Hello, everyone. This is Duran's Healing, and welcome to tonight's bonus reading. I felt called to ignite this fire tonight very sporadically. There is an energy of spontaneity that is washing over me that has called me to the altar to see what's going on out here in the cosmos. And for those of you who are new to my channel, my scheduled readings are either on Saturdays or Mondays or Saturdays. It falls on either of those days at 8:30 p.m. However, I also provide bonus readings. These are messages that I feel called to share with you all at random times of the day. And I feel called to dive into the stones because I felt that a wave of energy that is sparking my interest. And I wanted to see what's going on out here in the cosmos, to see what the messages are calling me to share with you all at this time. And as I begin, please be sure to contribute your very powerful energy to this bonus reading, whether it be a like, a share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know how these messages are showing up in your world. And with that being said, let's get right into the messages. And the message that is speaking the loudest is coming from your spirit guides or your ancestor team, and they're drawing attention to your genius, your level of sophistication. Somehow it is bridging the gap between you and the other world. And though this other world or this otherworldly energy that you may be experiencing causes some degree of confusion or unfamiliarity with the unseen, it doesn't make this bridge any less visible or any less real, segueing you to the type of person that radiates deep down within your core. You are a genius. There is a level of intellect, there is a level of sophistication that is within you that is meant for the community, that is shining your light. What I'm seeing here, your sophistication is connected to human connections, intermingling, the web of consciousness, restoring faith back into the cosmos, back into the paradigm in which you live in. Somehow, the density of this paradigm brings about a certain level of disparity, certain level of darkness, certain level of weight that most people have difficulties of getting themselves out of. And you can see the web that they're caught up in due to their refusal or unwillingness or inability to successfully defeat the tribulations that are coming up within their path. But for you, your story is quite different. Somehow, in the midst of the narrative surrounding your experience, you have found that looking at the glass half full instead of half empty has excelled you to new heights, excelled you to new levels, new dimensions, a new reality for yourself that you didn't know was possible. This is what your sophistication and your genius is speaking to, leading you towards your heart, your devotion towards this earth, your devotion towards this planet. Because you can understand on a very conscious level that Mother Earth plays a very pivotal role. You can see the quintessential essence in the purpose of the divine energy, the divine feminine, the Mother Earth. And you know that a pouring out and pouring blessings and giving to the mother and the feminine is important. This is where your heart is, because you have been mothered in a way to give you a certain degree of honor and reverence to this energy. But due to this energy being on so many levels and so many planes, you can see it in a bird's eye view is what I'm seeing here. Because you know the history. Whether you know the history of the challenges that come from your mother, your grandmother, whether you know the history of this earth or the ground that you walk on, is that what I'm seeing here. It's like you can see a shining light in the midst of the pain that is experienced within the feminine, taking you further into a much more eclectic level, knowing that it is the divine feminine that has nurtured the generations, that have fed and secured the identity around the very essence of the being that you are, this planet is. You see it on a much different level. And what you're finding is that you may be combating the intellect, the thought process, the current narratives that may be spun around feminine energy. What I'm seeing here is that you can recognize the gender wars. You can recognize that there may be an imbalance between the masculine and the feminine that is currently present here. And what is cementing you in your power is that you know the truth on a much more deeper level. You see beyond the veil because you know the heritage and the history of what the feminine has done on an ancient level to be able to ascend humanity to the level that it is currently in. You're bypassing a lot of toxicity is what I'm hearing here that may be prevalent in the current paradigm, causing you to take action in a different way than you've ever expected. And you don't have to be a feminine to acknowledge this challenge or the wars that exist. Some of you may be divine masculine that can see the chain that is being wrapped around these women in your space and the women in your circle. Seeing the littering, the constant bypassing or the minimizing that comes along with trauma when it comes to feminine energy is what I'm downloading here. But the message is much higher for you. The message is much larger for you because you understand the connection between the masculine and the feminine and the importance of what it means for the community, the importance that it means for the children, the youth, and the future, causing you to be a change agent in this matter. You're standing up against the constant rhetoric that is here, that is cementing a wedge between this feminine energy. Because what the stones are showing to me here is that the knowledge that comes with you or come from you understands the importance of human interconnections. And you can see where the gap is. You can see where the loophole is. It's as if there is a cloth that is over your eyes. Like you're wearing a mask to protect you from the constant saturation of the information that has been funneled in at this current paradigm, forcing you to be outside, forcing you to be away or get away from this narrative. And this is due to the fact that you are leading the way. You are the leader. And even though the messages and the narratives are being spun around these wars, you're not allowing yourself to fall victim to this information system. Because at the end of the day, what the higher message is saying to you that no one is lost. Nothing is lost here. What it calls for you to do is to give back in a way that shifts the current paradigm, to shift the current narrative. To say, hey, either I'm not participating in this narrative or I'm fighting back against it. Because you know the truth. You know the reality of what exists here, because for you, the sophistication of your being gives you light. It makes you be viewed as a lighthouse away from the darkness. Counter to this is the fact that you are the lighthouse for those who appear to be lost in the midst of the darkness. You say that you are not lost. You have just fell victim to the weight of the current consciousness. You're higher than what the paradigm or the energy is trying to shift you towards, and is due to the visibility of your energy. You stick out like a mountain, being seen far away. People know that they're headed towards the right direction when they can see the pinnacle, when they can see the peak of the mountain. They may not know exactly what road to go. However, they know if they keep headed toward this large mountain, it will give them some degree of guidance. This is how your energy is to be viewed. The amount of people that will gravitate towards you once you stand out, once you separate yourself against the current consciousness by either detaching or standing up against, you will see that the leadership of your energy will cause an attraction to you. You may not even know that this is the reason why people are coming to you, but your power cannot be denied because you're grounded in who you are. You're grounded in a certain level of wisdom that makes you stand out, makes you stand above the crowd. Whether you're a feminine or a masculine, it doesn't matter here. What's more important is that the information flows through you. Flows to you in a way so that you can take action in your community, so people can view you in a way that is seen like a guru, seen as a leader, because you didn't fall victim to the current consciousness or the current narrative that is permeating the wave, permeating amongst the ears and through the voices of people who may be sitting on podcasts, sitting in certain arenas, spewing out their trauma. You're coming from a much more healed space. You're coming from a space of wisdom to know that you are much larger than that, bigger than that is what I'm seeing here. This is very powerful because it speaks to your wisdom, your level of intellect, your genius that came out in the initial reading. Very powerful message that I'm seeing here. And what I will do is I would like to pull some cards to see why you're standing forth in this healed space, because this is quite unique for you to take a stand in this way, because I can see that it may cause you to go against your current friend group. It may cause you to go against your current feminine circle, wherever it may be. What is this current wisdom? Collective energy is stepping forth in. And the cards that came out were absorbing, solace within, in the midst, and phases. It's because you know there is something much deeper going on here. You know that due to the work that you have done on yourself, regardless of gender, you have healed the certain frequency within yourself to bypass gender, to bypass sexuality, race, and all these different constraints that typically hold people down. And you found solace within the very peace that you have gained within yourself, because you have found in the midst of your solace is a space that you've never thought you'd get to. A peace within yourself that you will not let anything or anyone take you away from, allowing you to gain a certain level of knowledge and wisdom, absorbing all of this information that the current consciousness doesn't have access to due to their level of energy. There is a frequency, energetic threshold in the consciousness that is holding them down to a certain frequency. But due to your healing work, due to the wisdom that you've found along your journey, securing a home coming for you will not allow you to deny the work that you've called to do. That's what I'm seeing here. That's what this wisdom is speaking to. This is why you're able to be an outlier. This is why you're able to bypass the current web that is holding the consciousness down in gender wars and certain energies. You're higher than that is what I'm seeing here. This was a very unique message, and it's very specific. There may be a thread of consciousness here coming out in attempt to speak to what's going on in the current paradigm, trying to push back against low-level energies. This is why I was called to the altar to bring forth this message. And if you're still here with me tonight in this current bonus reading, please be sure to like, share, subscribe, or comment below to let me know if this message is showing up in your world. And what I will do at this time, I will shift the trajectory of this energy to see what other messages the higher energy would like for me to share with you all. And one card fell out. The cards that came out were intelligent and witty, feel your way through it, and written in the stars. Because the initial message started with your sophistication and your genius, I'm not surprised that intellect and witty came out in the stars. There is something about your thinking, something about the way you perceive the reality in which you live in that makes you feel or makes you be an outlier. It's like your intellect is allowing you to advance above the dark energy due to your frequency being elevated, because you can feel your way through it. You know what dark energies or heavy energies feel like. You know what light feels like. And you've become intelligent enough to make conscious decision even within your spiritual journey. And the reason why you're able to do this is because your story has been written in the stars. You were called for this mission. You were able to feel the thunder of the storms, to know that there is something higher going on, and I'm attached to this. I'm attached to something much better, something larger than what this current paradigm has offered me. And you didn't reduce yourself down, even if your buddies or your male friend groups have tried to convince you, to tell you that this is the way to be a man. This is the way men move. You didn't let that influence you. You didn't let the toxic masculinity move you in a certain direction, because there was something written in the stars that said you were much more healed. You were much more better and have a higher purpose to serve for younger men in your community. Being a leader and a role model in a way that some of you may not even had for yourself. Creating it from scratch. Because you wanted to show, even if you didn't have it, you were still able to courage up the strength to provide better for other men in your young boys in your community. Yeah, this is large, a very large message. And this speaks to the counter energy as well. Some of the divine feminine understood the toxicity that were being present or prevalent in their community, but they didn't allow it to change them. They didn't allow it to move them in a way to circumvent themselves away from the divinity of the energy of the mother, of the nurturer. There's something that was written and you felt it in your intuition, knowing that the feminine energy carried power. You didn't have to align yourself with certain energy to verify this within you. The alignment of the star system connected you to something that bypassed you from being swept away from what a feminine should be. This is historical. Breaking away from the current archetype of what a feminine or what a woman should be. What you realized was that you can be all that you are because of the complexity, because of your intellect, because of your genius. The current consciousness told you that you shouldn't be too smart. You shouldn't be too vocal. You shouldn't express yourself too much, because that's not the role of a woman. Because that's not what you should be, because it counters against what a woman should be. However, you did not allow this message or the narrative to move you away from the complexity of your being, because you knew there was something much higher that was attached to your intellect, that was attached to your wittiness. Your feminine energy served a higher purpose to allow you to sink down below what you knew to be true. Wow. Speechless. Speechless. For the masculine and the feminine, what I can see in this message is that you are defying the odds because of what you have done for yourself, and allowing you to recreate the narrative, to push back against what is currently or what has currently been available for you, so that you can evolve what it means to be a man, what it means to be a woman, healed, healthy, and whole. Period. Thank you all for joining me in tonight's bonus reading. I understand why I had to come out and share this message tonight. This was very clear and very specific. And if you stayed with me and contribute your energy, I would like to offer a token of gratitude for contributing your energy. It allows me to pick up on these more particular and specific messages that are going on within your cosmos, what's going on within the realm of your paradigm. And with that being said, I'm going to take this time to come down and close out tonight's healing circle. Thank you all for being here, and I will see you tomorrow at the next.